Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to our Week 6 YouTube video for the Everyman's Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me, Russell, here with Blake.
It's your boy.
We're going into the bipocalypse here, people. But we're going to keep you updated, give you some news, and then go over these matchups through the NFL through Week 6. To start off with, news, obviously, if you want to lead with that top one.
You wrote it down for me?
Yes,
God,
I did.
This guy's awesome doing all the work.
Uh-huh.
Not all of it, but a lot of it. As far as news, Anthony Richardson probably out for the year. That hurts, I think, every Colts player. Anthony Richardson was also great for fantasy, so that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to also see Jonathan Taylor getting eased back in, if you'd call that news. So that's the only bright spot, I think.
Kind of news, yeah. I mean, that sucks about Anthony Richardson. Saw it coming, though, after getting hurt in every game he played.
I know, but he was a lot of fun to watch.
He was a lot of fun to watch. He will be a lot of fun to watch. Next one, Debo, day-to-day. I expect them to play. They do play on Monday, and they are, missing possibly McCaffrey already. We'll get to that in a minute.
You have, as far as Debo, if you have someone that you think is a startable player, not like a last-minute backup, I mean, a Monday night player, there's no one else on that There's no one else on that roster that I would
be
comfortable
it's gonna
starting.
Be tough with all those injured guys going into Monday night. It's some people are probably going to get burnt. I'd grab handcuffs now. These two running backs, Montgomery and Kyron, both likely out this Sunday. That's tough to see, especially with so many running backs already being hurt before that and going into bipocalypse. That's awful. Those guys have been big surprises for their teams and big surprises for their fantasy teams this season. So it's sad to see.
Yeah. Big bummer on both those running backs. Also an injury to Justin Fields first.
His thumb turned upside down.
Yeah, it looks real gross. He's doubtful for this Sunday, and I wouldn't be surprised if he missed a couple weeks, honestly.
Yeah, I expect him to be out for multiple weeks. This is something to just update. Not like Damian Harris is, getting started in fantasy, but it did look a little bit freaky. It was the Bills game. He got carted off, went to the hospital, avoided a serious injury. He should be fine, so that's good to hear. Trevor Lawrence, game is tonight. A little bit iffy on if he's playing or not. It's going to be Beathard if it's not.
They added him to the roster, so I'd call
a little bit worrisome.
Lawrence doubtful.
I'd say he's doubtful for tonight as well. Jimmy G probably doubtful. He went to the hospital with a back injury. That's not good to see. Everyone's dropping like flies, especially on bipocalypse too. This is going to be a make or break week for a lot of fantasy teams.
Christian McCaffrey, though, he has an oblique injury. He is probable to play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he should play.
According to
their Monday night,
Shanahan thinks he will. Shanahan says he thinks he will.
Can we trust Shanahan, though?
No.
Can't trust anybody, honestly.
Nope.
Except for maybe Kirk Cousins. He seems like an honest person.
Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady, and me. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know about the last two. But Tannehill, high ankle sprain, same ankle he hurt last year, which really stinks, but something to monitor. A-Chain's expected to just be on IR for the month, so should expect him back. Jay Jettis is looking a little bit longer than IR, 4 to 6 weeks, something to monitor. And Khalil Herbert headed to IR. So.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I don't know why I thought of...
Justin Herbert.
I thought of Justin Herbert.
He just few more news from today. Deshaun Watson's shoulder said he's day-to-day. I don't even want to go into that. He's such a liar.
Ooh, Kyler Murray is practicing as of yesterday.
That's big news. Big news for the Cardinals. They'll get even better. That's big news for all the options in the Cardinals offense, too. They will be even better.
Yep, all of them. Hollywood was already playing pretty good, too.
Oh, Mecole Hardman got traded back to the Chiefs.
Yep. That's true.
News.
For a late pick swap. After 28 snaps with the Jets.
Jamal Williams expected to be activated tonight. Play against the Jags. That running back room's going to need help against the Jags' stout run defense. Deshaun Watson actually practicing in full today. I read the message from yesterday instead of the message from today. So that's big news.
The Panthers wide receiver, Terrence Marshall Jr., did get permission to seek a trade. So he could be heading off. Guess he got tired of seeing Thielen thrive.
Yeah, we're headed into the bottom barrel news right now. So let's say we go right into the matchups. We got to Terrence Marshall. I think it's time to go back. Yeah, that'll do it for news. We'll get back to you guys next week with the updates. But Going into the matchups, some pretty fun games this weekend. We enjoyed them a lot from what we could watch. Starting off with Thursday, though, divisional matchup, defensive matchup. Russell Wilson looked pitiful.
Did we enjoy them from what we could watch? All of our teams lost.
Yes, all of our teams did lose. But there were good fantasy days from other teams. We'll get into those better matchups soon. But to start off with the Thursday night game, Russell Wilson, big ol' stinker. Mahomes is not, lighting up the league this year. He was the first QB drafted everywhere, and he's not playing like the first QB drafted. He's playing like the fifth or sixth guy. So a little bit worrisome. Maybe Mecole Hardman will make Mahomes' numbers explode.
I don't know about explode, but I think they'll have chemistry, and he will probably trust him the most.
Yeah, maybe.
Compared to Sky Moore and Kadarius.
Yeah. In the running back room for both teams, pitiful day from the Denver side. They couldn't really get anything done against Kansas City.
Shocker.
On the other hand, though, Isaiah Pacheco is getting more and more work every week. He seems to be the go-to guy for Kansas City. Andy Reid trusts him. If Andy Reid trusts you, you're going to get, the prize pick touches in that offense. So that's exciting. Wide receiver side, though, Cortland Sutton kind of lucked out with a touchdown.
Yeah, but garbage time.
I'm not really going to, harp on that or, run after that. I don't think Sutton's that great of an option as long as Russell Wilson's your QB.
I don't think anyone on the Broncos is a great
Or really
option.
Kansas City. I mean, the receiving option is this guy. Travis Kelce, the man.
Kelce and Pacheco are the only two players on the Chiefs I would like in fantasy.
Yeah.
No one on the Broncos. I mean, it's just piss poor offense in Denver and inconsistent. A lot of mouths to feed in Kansas City. A lot of average mouths to feed.
It's like this is the year where Kansas City's better everywhere else. Defense, special teams. Like, they don't need Mahomes as much. But yeah, we see the Chiefs move to 5-1 and the Denver move to 1-5. I'm pretty sure they're shopping everybody. So that's going to be fun to see.
They should.
We're going to head over to London town.
Back to London.
Back
London
across the
Bridge.
pond to the London Bridge to Big Ben. That's where we're headed.
Not
Tottenham.
the Steelers, Big Ben.
Tottenham. Why'd you go back to American? Stay with the English accent for now. Big win for Baltimore. Alright, I'm done. After trying to say Baltimore, I'm done.
I thought you said it pretty good.
Baltimore.
I would have said it much worse.
Yeah, we saw, Lamar get a big win for Tennessee. This was kind of a sloppy game. Mm-hmm. Watching the Titans offense is just, it makes me cry blood, honestly. Like, my tears turn into blood. It's
like
painful.
his Sharingan activated. He doesn't know what that means.
I have no clue what that means. Ryan Tannehill just stinks. He got hurt, too. Derrick Henry, good day. Don't expect good days out of Derrick Henry anymore, which is kind of sad to say.
It is kind of sad. I heard a rumor that Tennessee might be selling him.
Gosh, man. Where do you think he would go? Where do you think a team that would trade for Derrick Henry right now?
Can you imagine him on the Cowboys with him and TP as a 1-2 punch?
That would make me so angry watching him.
What if he went to like the Rams or like he could come to Tampa?
Honestly, I don't even want to harp on it. I can only see him in a Titans uniform. On the receiving side for these teams, nothing good out of the Tennessee side.
Nope.
Due to Tannehill. On the Baltimore side, though, Zay Flowers got a touchdown. Had a pretty good fantasy day, finishing with 17.1.
His first one of the season. He is leading the Ravens in targets this year.
Which is pretty exciting, man. You love to see rookie receivers play like this. For Mark Andrews, I don't remember what he finished with. A pretty moderate day, a little Evan Ingram-esque with the 10.9 piece. You want more out of Mark Andrews, especially where you drafted him, but you'll take that in your starting tight end spot.
It's going to outscore most tight ends.
Yeah, he's probably like tight end 5 on the week or something.
Mark Andrews is still going to have his boom weeks where he puts up 25, 30 points. So, I mean,
yeah,
you're definitely grateful for a little modest 11.
Shout out to Justin Tucker, though. He is the GOAT.
What, 6? Did he kick 6?
Yeah, he was money with all of them. He's also, last time we played the Lions, who the Ravens are playing this weekend, he broke the all-time longest kick.
66?
Yeah, 60. Yeah, I think it was 66, actually. Anyway, Justin Tucker's the man. Big game this weekend for him. But we see the Ravens move to 4-2. I'm pretty sure they're atop their division. And Tennessee moved to 2-4. Next matchup was between two burger squads, two bad teams.
This matchup's why Baze is in here.
Washington versus Atlanta. Bad game for Desmond Ridder. He just doesn't seem like a startable QB in the NFL. I've seen some flashes here and there, but I've seen a lot of bad in between. A little bit different with Sam Howell on the other side. But yeah, I mean, this was kind of a sloppy game. I felt like Atlanta was going to win, but Desmond Ridder just gave the game to Washington.
Quite literally,
in that second half.
Threw the ball
3 times,
to
3
their
picks.
team
Just
3 times.
Gave the game to Washington. I know a lot of people bet on Atlanta this weekend, and they're not happy about it. Need a little bit more out of Bijan. This guy was drafted in the first round. Not really playing like a first-round guy right now.
I mean, he's a top 10 running back, and that is a first-round caliber player. That's an RB1 on a lot of teams. However, with Tyler Algier still continuing to get a large amount of work, almost even pretty much, Bijan will never really flourish to a Christian McCaffrey level as long as the Falcons continue to allow Tyler Algier to get over 12 touches every week.
Yeah.
It's going to eat into Bijan's potential to really boom.
Mm-hmm. On the other side, it was the tale for Washington on the receiving side. Curtis Samuel and McLaurin, the only two receivers to catch anything. For Sam Howell, big old goose egg for Jahan Dotson. He's been a huge disappointment for people in fantasy this year. Another great game out of Drake London, though. He seems to be turning it around, which I'm happy to see because he's probably their best weapon outside of Bijan. I'd give him the edge over Pitts. And they need to give him the ball to have a chance to win. So I do like to see him get so many targets. 12 targets for Drake London is what he needs for this offense to succeed.
Well, I mean, Desmond Ridder threw the ball 47 times, so I don't know how many times that's going to happen.
He needs to be throwing it 40 times a game, like a regular QB.
He should, but I don't think he will because the Falcons like to run it 40 times.
They've been passing it more and more every week.
They have. They've been working towards playing like an NFL team.
And when they're in games like this where they have to throw the ball, they're going to throw the ball, and they're going to be in games like this all year. So, I mean, it's expected. Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts both had good weeks this week. Definitely looking for Jonnu Smith on the waiver wire if I don't have a decent tight end in. And Kyle Pitts, keeping people aware that he is capable of being a good fantasy option. I just need to see it every week.
He's capable. He's just giving you trust issues, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, we see Atlanta fall to 3-3, and the Commanders move to 3-3. Our next matchup was a divisional game between the Vikings and the Bears. I was expecting a high-scoring game, and it was just a sloppy back and forth between two bad defenses.
Well,
Justin Fields went down.
Yeah, we lost Fields about a quarter into the game. I mean, Kirk really showed how valuable Jettas is to that offense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kirk had 181 yards. I mean, Jettas has that many yards in one game sometimes.
Right. I mean,
so
I'd be worried, man.
Yeah, and Madison yet to do anything with his workload. I mean, he's getting a massive workload, one of the highest in the league, and he hasn't done anything with it.
Yeah,
he's top 5
clearly
in
not
touches.
the guy.
He's top 5 in touches, and he's not doing anything with it. Very concerning. It is a good sign if you own Madison that Cam Akers only got 2 touches this week versus Madison's 22. Yeah. So that's a good sign for Madison. He just hasn't done anything with it. And I think this week the Vikings play the 49ers, so I still would not count on Alexander Madison to have his blow-up game.
Yeah. All the best days from everybody came out of the defenses, with the Vikings finishing with 23 and the Bears finishing with 12. Literally no other tight end, wide receiver, running back finished with more in fantasy. So that just tells you how sloppy this game really was. The Vikings definitely need to rely on the other guys, on Addison and Hawkinson more. They're going to need him because Jettas is not going to be back anytime soon.
They paid Hawk for a reason.
Yeah. But yeah, we see the Vikings move to 2-4, get their second win of the season, and the Bears move to 1-5. Next matchup was actually a pretty good game, as low scoring as it was. The Seahawks versus the Bengals. Both quarterbacks showed, how good they can play, even though they didn't get into pay dirt as much as expected. But yeah, I mean, Burrow seems healthy, and the Seahawks, even though they came out with a loss, seem like a very good team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, the Seahawks are just a good all-around team. For fantasy purposes, Kenneth Walker might be the best player on that roster.
Yeah.
I mean, DK yet to have a crazy week. Tyler Lockett is pretty inconsistent all around. I mean, he will have good, solid weeks, and he could also...
He's a boom-bust guy.
He's a very boom-bust guy. I did read that they're trying to get JSN more involved still. I mean, I don't know if that'll ever happen.
I'm hoping it eventually happens, you know?
Yeah, they should. They should
draft
use
a
him.
guy that high and not use him.
Gino's not playing like he did last year so far into this season, especially for fantasy. The Seahawks, their offense is all around a little shaky. Kenneth is the bright spot for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bengals, I mean, you do like to see them get another win, turning things around this season.
Yes. I'm excited for what's to come for Cincinnati right now. It's good to see them turning it around. It's good to see Burrow healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They're going into the bye this week too, so they're going to get even healthier. But yeah, I'm just glad they covered the spread, honestly. But yeah, we see the Bengals move to 3-3 after starting the season so rough, and then the Seahawks move to 3-2. Next matchup was a huge surprise.
I want to talk about a defensive matchup. This was the defensive matchup.
These are probably the two best defenses in the league. Yep. Looking at the numbers, Cleveland is far and above the best right now. I mean, they're playing like it's 1965.
Yeah, they're playing with an all-time defense right now, honestly.
Myles Garrett needs to be at the top of that Defensive Player of the Year watch list.
Yep.
The Browns came out and played. I know that San Francisco lost McCaffrey, lost Deebo. We're dealing with some health issues, but it's not like the Browns are dealing with anything less. Didn't have their QB.
Yep.
Lost Chubb a few weeks back. I know they're dealing with a few more injuries. Just can't come to mind right now. But yeah, man, the Browns look for real. This division is up in the air too. So
absolutely is.
PJ Walker, even though he didn't finish with a great day in fantasy, did play the 49ers, and he looked, like a number 2 QB guy you can possibly rely on. Getting a win with him is huge. Some real dud QBs got wins this last weekend. It's kind of funny to think about.
Oh, yeah. Like Jared Goff.
Not Jared Goff. He's an MVP candidate, man. A lot of people were worried about Amari Cooper going into this game without Deshaun Watson, but he performed, finished with 14.8. You'd like that to be a little bit higher because I'm sure a lot of people have him in the 1 or 2 slot on their team. But, I mean, yeah, this was a defensive matchup, and the Browns came out on top. Very unexpected, giving the 49ers their first loss.
Yeah, their first loss.
But, yeah, we see the Niners move to 5-1, and the Cleveland Brownies, or the Elks, or whatever the hell they are, move to 3-2. You go ahead and lead off with this one, because I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah, I figured he'd want me to do a lot of the talking. I didn't see a lot of this game, unfortunately, but talking about the Saints-Texans game. The Texans do look all around pretty good this year, defense and offense, led by C.J. Stroud.
What about D'Amico Ryan?
Oh?
D'Amico Ryan, their new head coach.
Oh, that's the Texans?
That's
got to be what it is. I thought it was just C.J. I was fully unaware of that. Going into this season, I think most people expected absolutely nothing out of the Houston Texans, and they're a solid all-around team.
3-3.
3-3.
Honestly, should have
the
been the
Saints down to
Falcons
3-3
last week, so they should even have a better record. But yeah, I mean, C.J. Stroud looked the part against a really great defense, which sucked. Derek Carr may have finished with the most yards on the week as a QB in the NFL, but he can't score in the red zone. This Saints team is hard to watch as a fan. Kamara is just locked into any fantasy lineup. He's a guaranteed 15-plus a game.
He is. Kamara with 8 targets, 19 carries. I mean, you see that kind of workload, and they're going to put up startable numbers every single week. They did hold Kamara to under 3 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Sorry, not 3, 4. Which you don't love to see, but I mean those 7 receptions, those are gonna get you points no matter what.
Yeah, and Olave with a decent day. A lot of lack of effort on some plays I watched. Hoping for even better. If that guy wants to be the wide receiver 1 for the Saints, he needs to play with some more effort, man. And the play calling, that's where I see the Saints being so bad right now, is in the play calling. A lot different on the Houston side. They feel like they're playing for something more. They feel like they're in every game. And it feels the opposite watching some of these Saints games. But, yeah, I mean, both these teams moved to 3-3. Houston's headed into the bye. Next matchup was another divisional one between the Jags and the Colts. This was for the sole position of number 1 in the AFC South. Jacksonville came out on top, winning 37-20. Trevor Lawrence he picked up an injury near the end of this game.
He did.
He hasn't really had to do much this year, with ETN playing so well and their defense being pretty good.
ETN looks phenomenal this year. He's had 2 touchdown games 2 weeks in a row now. He obviously can't keep that up forever, but I know some people were worried about Tank Bigsby working his way into the offense. That is yet to happen. Tank with only 3 carries to ETN's 18. ETN's job is absolutely safe, just barring any injuries. ETN looks phenomenal. And taking that load off of T-Law despite giving him a new weapon in Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley's so up and down, man. Christian Kirk is that safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence. Same with Evan Ingram. They're very similar. You just hope and pray that Calvin Ridley can come down with like a bomb catch for touchdown, because it doesn't look like the touches and the targets are going to be there. They're for the other guys that Trevor Lawrence has that rapport with. On the other side, Michael Pittman looks even better with Gardner Minshew. As a Colts fan, I'm sure you're unhappy, but as a Michael Pittman fantasy owner, Anthony Richardson news is good for you, because Gardner Minshew is just going to funnel the ball down the field and get it to Michael Pittman as much as possible. Same with Josh Downs, who had a pretty good day, saved by a touchdown, but if you're in a PPR league, you're definitely happy to see that out of him too. But yeah, big win for Jacksonville. They moved to 4-2, and the Colts moved to 3-3. I'm pretty sure we're moving in. Nope, we got one more, and then we're moving into the 3 o'clocks. Carolina versus Miami. This game started weird.
This game started up with Carolina putting up a 14-0 score against the Dolphins. I think everyone was like, what the hell is going on here? And then Tua turned up.
Yeah, the Tua fantasy owners were like, oh.
Turned up Tua, man. Aren't we? Tua just wanted a reason to air the ball out to his heart's content. He figured if they went up too early, he'd get benched by halftime. He didn't want to get benched till the fourth quarter.
Exactly. Happy to see it as a Miami fan. But
happy to see it as a Miami heavily invested fantasy player.
Yeah, Waddle has looked better and better each week. Mostert and Tyreek are the ones for running backs and wide receivers. This team is just locked and loaded full of, high quality fantasy options. They continue to put up all these points every week, and I don't see it stopping. But on the other side, Chuba Hubbard looks like the guy with Miles Sanders dealing with injury and not playing very well this season.
Chuba looks really good. He was pretty efficient. Got a touchdown in. The Panthers aren't horrible, though they will put up points.
They are horrible. They're 0-6.
Okay, they are horrible. They are horrible and awful. They're horrible and awful, but they can move the ball down the field.
Yeah, Adam Thielen can move the ball down the field. That guy is old as piss. He should be in a retirement home, but he's putting up, 30 points a week in fantasy. They're going into a bye this week, so he's going to get, stuck with all that, vampire medicine that keeps him so young and healthy and putting up 30 points a game in fantasy. That's just insane.
Yeah, he should be knitting. Instead, he's scoring tutties.
Huge win for Miami, though. That was a fun game to watch. So many big plays, which is all Miami has are big plays.
It's so awesome.
We see them move to 5-1, and the Carolina Panthers fall to 0-6. Moving on to the 3 o'clock slates.
Couple trash teams to start.
New England versus Las Vegas. We're not going to harp too much on this. No one's good on these teams.
Nope.
Well, the Raiders have good options. They just don't like to give them the ball.
Jacoby Myers is looking pretty real deal for fantasy.
Yeah, he might be the best option that the Raiders have in fantasy with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs on the team, which just pisses me off, man.
Crazy. But I own Jacoby in a league, so it's cool.
I bet it is cool for you. Kendrick Bourne on the other side had a pretty good day, 11 targets. He's had some up and down weeks. Might be a nice little waiver stash, especially if he continues that.
If Mac Jones can get his shit together and the Patriots cannot be the lowest scoring team in the league, I would agree. But I don't believe in any Pats players the same way I don't believe in any Broncos players.
I feel like Malik Cunningham might be coming out of the woodwork soon. Who knows? Mac Jones, I think it's over, man. I don't think it's over for his career, but I think it's over in New England. I don't think there's anything to repair there.
Should be.
I think he needs to move on to greener pastures. For Vegas on the other side, Jimmy G, went to the hospital with a back injury. I don't think he's going to be playing anytime soon. So we're going to be seeing Brian Hoyer at work for the Raiders, which is probably going to mean it's even worse for Devontae Adams. Sad to see that, but surprisingly, the Raiders now sit at 3-3, but the Patriots are 1-5. Our next matchup was a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
It's all about these guys.
It's all about the Jets. It's all about the Jets. Let's go get a touchdown.
Philly versus the Jets. The Jets came out on top. They covered.
Can't believe it.
They won. I mean, the Jets are so awesome. This is a fun team to watch when they're not playing offense. But yeah, I mean, the Jets, so exciting. The Eagles, on the other hand, their defense is a lot worse than last year. Their secondary has been getting shredded.
Stinky.
The only bright spot for them on that defense is the defensive line, but they can't do everything. Their offensive side, too, they have Devontae Smith and they have A.J. Brown. And they've been using Goddard a little bit more, but they haven't gotten that third guy. They just brought in Julio Jones.
Bringing in Julio's old ass.
I mean, so we'll
Adam
see.
Thielen told him, "Come on, man. You don't have to knit and stitch yet. Bingo night's not for years."
Jalen Hurts with 3 interceptions. He's looked very mid-level QB lately, which is kind of frightening because he's drafted so high in fantasy. Zach Wilson, on the other hand, a decent bounce-back week. I don't know if he had any turnovers. No turnovers. Limits those turnovers and they get wins, man. You'd love to see that for Zach Wilson.
Hey, he did say, when they lost to the Chiefs, it was my fault. I turned the ball over off that fumble. He didn't do that this week. Came out with a win. On the other side of the ball, I love DeAndre Swift. He's been awesome. Get out of my head.
DeAndre Swift has been great. Breece Hall has also been awesome as of late.
Yeah, finally.
Very exciting to see those two play well.
Breece's usage going up.
A.J. Brown.
Fully recovered.
A.J. Brown continues to get like 125 yards plus a game. I think this is his 4th game in a row of more than 125 yards.
And his pink cleats.
Like he looks adorable. Jason Kelsey's daughter loves it. We all love it. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
I love it and I respect it.
Shout out to A.J. Garrett Wilson has looked great. He's going to get the ball funneled to him as well. I mean, when you have a guy that talented, you need to get him the ball. So Zach Wilson's looked better and better. I'm excited to watch him continue leading this team to the Super Bowl.
I'm looking forward to when he starts dating Kelsey's mom.
Yeah, that's coming soon. Next matchup is between Arizona and the Rams. Big divisional win here for Los Angeles. They kind of blew Arizona out of the water, who fall to 1-5. Josh Dobbs was brought, back down to the bad level of QBs this week.
Back down to earth. Yeah. Back down to Arizona earth.
Matt Stafford's been throwing the piss out of the ball lately. It's really good to see Cooper Kupp back as well.
He only threw it 24 times. But it was a blowout.
It was a lot of yards is what I mean.
Airing it out.
Airing the ball out. Yeah, I mean, Kupp and Puka are locked into your lineups. Kyron went down with an injury this week. Very, very sad to see it as a
But after putting up great numbers.
He did put up great numbers. They didn't give him the ball at all in the first half, and then he came out in the second half with 10 yards a carry, man. You love to see that for him. Keontae Ingram was actually the starter. It's not that Demercado guy that everyone spent up on the waiver wires.
Yeah, definitely threw me off.
Yeah, and, sad to see Hollywood come back down to earth. He's been putting up like 17 a game, 17 fantasy points a game. But yeah, I mean, 11 targets. Once Kyler's back, it's going to be even better.
Which should be soon.
Which should be very soon. But yeah, we see the Rams move to 3-3, and the Cardinals fall to 1-5. Here we go. You can stay silent if you want. I'm very, very sorry. We have to go over it. Final 3 o'clock game here was between the Detroit Lions, possibly the best team in the NFL, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Things could have started very differently, man. Baker had a tipped pass on the first play of our first drive.
I mean, Tampa Bay couldn't get anything done on the offensive side of the ball. Baker looked rushed every play. Mike Evans was dropping balls. Rashad White just couldn't, get more than a yard or two a carry. So, I mean, it was a tough game on the Detroit side of the ball. Jared Goff continuing to play at a MVP level, which is exciting.
Yeah, he is.
They lost David Montgomery. Didn't matter. Craig Reynolds came in, did pretty well. He's a great blocker. Craig Reynolds is an outstanding blocker. But yeah, Amon-Ra just absolutely dominated. 15 targets, 30 fantasy points. I mean, that's exciting, man. Amon-Ra is so talented.
Tore our secondary to shreds.
Yeah. Jameson Williams also had an incredible catch in the end zone. More of an incredible ball than an incredible catch. Because he didn't see that. Jameson Williams couldn't find the ball until it was in his chest. So, I mean, yeah. Shout out to Jared Goff. The Detroit defense, too, has been outstanding.
There's no worry about Sam Laporte. I think after this week's 11 targets, I mean, that's probably the most any tight end not named Kelsey's gotten all season, if I had to guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of those balls were uncatchable, but Jared Goff is looking his way, trying to get him off the ball. But yeah, I mean, the Lions moving to 5-1, and the Buccaneers fall to 3-2. Still atop the division, though.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Our Sunday night matchup was between the Bills and the Giants.
Better than expected.
A lot better than expected. The Giants defense gave the Bills a lot of trouble. Josh Allen didn't have the best day, but they still got the job done and won.
Still found a way to feed Diggs. Half of his passes were to Diggs.
I know. That's very exciting.
Finally
Stephon Diggs is so good.
Gabe Davis play like typical Gabe Davis.
Yep. Bad game out of him.
Bad game because he didn't catch a 40-yard touchdown.
Exactly. Decent tight end day out of Darren Waller, 9.3.
Yeah,
Whatever.
If you watch this game, I thought the last play of the game could have been PI.
Yeah, it honestly could have.
On Darren Waller?
Honestly could have.
I mean, the defender there was yanking his collar, not looking at the ball before the ball's there. I mean...
A lot of sloppy offense in this game.
Sorry, New York. It was a Jets week.
Wan'Dale Robinson looking a lot more involved. He had that breakout game last year, and now he's slowly getting more and more targets every week. Might be a little waiver stash for some people. The Giants definitely need a guy out there in the receiving core because they now moved to 1-5, and the Buffalo Bills moved to 4-2.
Hey, are you worried about James Cook?
I am worried about James Cook. I'm very worried because they might sign someone too because he can't get the job done on the goal line, and that's what they need. Moving to Monday night though, this was a great game. This game, half of my fantasy leagues had to come down to Monday night to this game. So,
might have been the best Monday night game of the year.
Yeah, probably. The Chargers just can't seem to win close games. They feel cursed. They might be cursed.
They might be.
The Cowboys, though, getting a good win in SoFi, too, an away win, moving to 4-2. Dak Prescott had a really good fantasy day. He rushed in their first touchdown from like 20 yards.
That was exciting. The Spanish announcers lost it.
They said, goal. Tony Pollard with a bounce-back week. That's really good to see. Tony Pollard needs to be heavily involved. CeeDee had a great game, caught every one of his targets, and I felt like every one of those targets was 20 yards down the field.
He said he's just like Jamar. He's always open.
Always open, baby. On the other side, Keenan Allen continues to dominate. With Mike Williams gone, he is just going to get half the receiver targets, it feels like.
If he stays
healthy,
healthy,
me some Keenan Allen, man. I love me some Keenan Allen.
He's a league winner if he stays healthy.
Eckler, first game back, didn't do much. Felt like he was eased in. We're going to see more than 14 carries.
But you still like to see the 6 targets.
You do like to see 6 targets, and that feels low for Eckler. I feel like he's going to have 10 targets.
Feels average. Some weeks he will have 10.
Like, he needs to get 10 targets a game. You need to get the ball to Eckler in the open field. They had a few chances to do that. But yeah, good win for Dallas. Nothing really out of the tight end room. Everett with a decent day. It might be, I'd go pick him up if you need a tight end. If you're in that, 8 to 12 spot of tight ends.
Are the Chargers on bye this week?
I think they are.
Everyone is.
So many people are on bye. No, they're not. They're not on bye. They already had their bye. But yeah, we see the Cowboys move to 4-2 and the Chargers moved to 2-3. That will do it for our Week 6 review in the NFL. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next week.